Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, beautiful people. Happy Thursday, and thank you for joining us this evening for a celebration of not only our graduates, but a celebration of mothers. Mothers play a pivotal role in the child's life from birth to um, to death, really. And so we are going to celebrate the accomplishments of three incredible young people and acknowledge the parents who contributed to security and provision and support, encouragement along this journey for each of them. So if you would, please like and share the broadcast so that others can join the conversation this evening, this celebration of accomplishments and moving on. So we thank you for joining us, and we ask again that you like and share the broadcast so that others will enjoy the conversation and join in on the celebration also. Life with Shenita started with an ultimate goal to help people overcome life's challenges and to encourage them to live a vibrant life. That was the goal, is the goal, and will always be the goal. Challenges will come, overcoming them is the goal, and moving past them and continuing to live and show up, not only for yourself, but for the world. So tonight, again, we will celebrate graduates and we will celebrate mothers. It is also Military Appreciation Month, and we want to acknowledge those service men and women who have committed their lives to this country and to protecting us on all fronts. In addition, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I personally want to encourage us to stay in a great mental health place. I remember when my first marriage ended in 1989 and I moved back home with my three children, and I knew that I needed to get in therapy. I knew that I needed to get in counseling, and I went looking for my high school counselor, who at that point had left the school and started his own practice. And I was in therapy soon after I found him. And so I want to encourage us to take care of our mental state, because a lot of times we think we got it and we don't, or sometimes we don't even acknowledge that we need help. And so I want to encourage us to go get what you need in that area. Your mental health is important. So let's talk about the definition of a graduate. So it is to pass from one stage of experience or proficiency or prestige to usually a higher one, to receive an academic degree or diploma. And so these individuals, we have two amazing high school graduates and one middle school graduate who is moving on to high school. And so we want to talk about the advantages of having a high school diploma. Of course, this is just the beginning for the young ladies because they are both matriculating to higher echelon and they are going on to the next level of college. And earning a higher income is one benefit of having a high school diploma, not to mention the collegiate level. That is one advantage. Then you become more competitive when you're applying for jobs. You qualify for promotions, start preparing for whatever the career is that you decide that you want to accomplish. Also, there are advantages of lifelong skills that you learn as well. And so I just wanted to just kind of highlight that. And there's a sense of pride that comes with graduating and holding that diploma on this level. And then the next level, you're going even higher and you get to, display that accomplishment because it is a big deal. And I just want to make sure that we encourage those out there who have accomplished not only a high school level, but a collegiate level. If your desire is to go higher in whatever that is that you desire. And you can do it. So without further delay, I want to bring in our special guest this evening. My co-host will be joining us shortly. He is caught up in traffic. As we know, traffic and the weather is not been the best today. I think they found a tornado, I think, in Henry County at some point this afternoon. So I pray that everyone is safe going to and from their destinations as well. So we will bring in um, Santasha and Taylor Oggs to the platform. Join me in welcoming them. Good evening, the Oggs family.
Hello, good evening.
How are you, ladies?
We're good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me. In addition to congratulations again, Taylor, on accomplishing this level. The best is yet to come. And I'm sure you would do outstanding. I understand that you're going to college where your brother went. Is that
Yes.
awesome? So you got some shoes to fill. That's exciting. You know, I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana with my baby brother about a week ago. And Santasha, we saw you in New Orleans last year. I was with him.
Yep.
My brother went to Southern University because my older brother David went to Southern University. And David majored in accounting. Ricky majored in accounting. David got married right out of high school. Ricky got married right out of high school. So you never know the influence that your older siblings have on you. And
even when they don't want to admit that they're being influenced.
Right. They're being influenced because maybe she's moving in his footsteps. I love it. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to welcome in Samori Scott. Hello, Samori.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're excited that you are getting ready to move on to the next level on your journey as well. So we're excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about that, ladies. So before we start, let's bring in Julian and his mom. And then we're going to do our round robin about you all and what people may be surprised to know. So let's bring in Julian and his mother, Monique. Hello.
Hello.
How are you all?
We're doing good.
Good. So glad to have you all as well. Thank you so much for being present.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So let's talk about what would surprise people to know about you all. And I want moms, y'all can jump in too. We're going to have a little fun with this. And so ladies are always first in my world. So let's start out with Taylor. So if you were sitting in a room, what is one thing that people would be surprised to know about you?
I think people would be surprised to know that I'm a leader in ROTC.
Oh, awesome. So that makes me think that mom and dad has been a major influence in your life in terms of leaders.
Yes.
Mom and dad both are retired from the military and leaders in their own right, right?
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. I love that for you. My guest host is joined us, and we're going to let him jump right in so that he can be in on this conversation. Andrew, good evening.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone's having a good start to the summer. Hopefully the evening's off to a great start. Of course, congratulations are in order when you get to the end of the school year. That is not an accomplishment to take lightly. So congratulations to everybody for just getting through this hurdle and, feeding off the positives. And as you kind of decompress for the summer, kind of visualize what things you want to see yourself doing, when you start back up next year.
Yeah. I'm so glad you came.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot for your patience. Glad I got here.
Yes, I saw your text about the weather and the traffic and the this, so I understand. So
Hey,
thank you for pushing.
hey, thanks a lot for your patience and understanding. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes. So we're just doing a round robin. So we're getting ready to have Samori to share what is one thing that people would be surprised to know about her.
Well, I believe people would be surprised to learn that I know how to play the bass and the electric guitar.
Oh, wow. I think I'm surprised.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you know, I host a jazz concert every year, right?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yes, at Spivey Hall, not just a jazz concert, but a elegant jazz concert, right, Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the wonderful things, and thank you for sharing, you know, your I won't say hidden talent, but the talent that people were not fully aware of. Uh,
Yes.
the last 2 years at Spivey Hall on the campus of Clayton State University, not only is it just an elegant evening of jazz, but incorporating talented student ensembles and whatnot to be a part of that is just, you know, just gives it an added bonus and an added
Mhm.
feature. It really
Yes. Yeah, so I'm excited to hear that. I'm gonna have to get you to play me some music, girl. I love jazz. So, Julian, what would people be surprised to know about you?
I did wrestling in my county for my school and got third in my weight class.
Oh, awesome. Third in the county, in all of Henry County.
Yes, in my
For
weight.
middle school?
Yes,
That's awesome.
thank you.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So moms, Monique, what would people be surprised to know about you?
Um, I don't know.
You're a jokester. You're a jokester.
I'd probably say that balancing the kids' schedule and my schedule is like a great talent, but just how hard it can be sometimes.
And you push
So,
through
yes.
with,
And
with
because I
good
push through
attitude.
it, sometimes it seems like it's easy, but it's a lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can imagine. And Santasha, what would people be surprised to know about you?
I thought this was just for the kids, so I guess I'm surprised.
Just this part. Just this part.
Probably that I'm a combat veteran. So a lot of times they have an idea of what they think veterans who deploy look like, and it's usually not someone who looks like me. So usually they're surprised. And I have a doctorate and I'm a teacher. And so when you hear that you deploy too, usually they're like, I normally get what?
Like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your service. You know, you retired after what, 20 years?
Over 20. Yeah.
Over 20. So thank you so much for your service. We
Thank you.
really appreciate that. All right. So let's talk about this journey to high school and this journey soon to college and the next level in your lives. So, Andrew, you want to shoot the first question for them?
Sure. I guess the first question that I would ask is based on what you've seen, based on what you've heard, what do you think the high school experience is all about?
Ladies, Samori, Taylor.
Question.
I think okay. You might not agree, but I think high school is really about making memories. Like, yes, you have to get your schoolwork done. You have to do everything you're supposed to do, and that kind of that's like a given. Like that's the expectation. But I definitely think making memories and like who you do it with, like that's because you're there for 4 years. So it's kind of like you have to do something with these 4 years, whether that's like joining a team or doing something like with friends, maybe like SGA, like, but making friends is definitely like,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
believe that, it's important to do your work and all that, but I think it's also really important to join things like clubs, school activities like plays and football games and all that. Just make memories out of high school.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, Maury, you did dual enrollment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were at the high school and the college. So did you make friends in both places?
I didn't. So for dual enrollment, they basically I had to go to two schools. So I would spend 3 of my classes at a different high school, and then I would spend 1 class at my main high school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't make many friends at the other high school because it was during my senior year, and at that point I was just kind of like, let me just get the work done. Let me just focus on that. So
Yeah, I think dual enrollment is just
Right.
focus on work, but you're
Right.
in the high school, so
Right. Go to
But
your.
it was a good experience, dual enrollment. There were a lot of classes there that my main high school didn't offer, so I'm happy I did do it, get the experience in.
That's good. Awesome. And Julian?
Middle school is like,
What do you think high school's about?
I haven't been to high school.
What do you think?
I think it's gonna be a big step. I feel like it'd be harder, different classes, new surrounding.
Are you excited about it?
Yes.
Well, one thing about where you're going, most of your friends from middle school or this year will be with you in high school, right?
Yes.
So you'll be the low man on the totem pole in 9th grade as freshmen, but I'm sure it's going to be really exciting to be there.
Yes, me too.
So what was like most challenging for you all on this journey, whether it's middle school, elementary school, or high school? Let's start with you first, Julian. What was most challenging on the journey? If you want to go middle school, that's fine. If you want to talk about elementary, what has been the most challenging part of your journey educationally?
For me, it was middle school because my 8th grade year, I moved to a new county, a new school. So I feel like it was harder to adapt to new surroundings and new people. And I took honor classes, which I've never done before. At first, it was really hard, but then I got used to it, and I was able to easily do my work. So it got better as it went along.
That's good. Very good. So you overcame the challenges of the new environment and pushing your mom, pushing you to do honors classes. And you finished strong, right?
Yes.
So now you have great potential to go further than you think you can.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. Taylor, what was the most challenging part for you on this journey thus far?
I think my most challenging part was when I had to move schools and be at the school she teaches at. It was just like, it was so bad. There wasn't a single good day my sophomore year. Like, it just wasn't a single good day. But
For neither of us.
you said for neither of us, but I'm the student. Like, I have a reputation, and she was just ruining it every moment. Like, my teachers would be like, I'm gonna email your mom, and then a couple seconds later, she comes walking down into the class. So it's just like, it was just so embarrassing. But I think junior year, we got the hang of it. And then senior year, it was even better because we didn't start the mornings in each other's cars. Like she drove because she had to be at the school earlier than me, so she drove herself, and then I drove myself, and then we were fine. We didn't really see each other that much. I had dual enrollment, so I was out the building by 11:15. So it was really just fun. Like
I love it. I love it.
had to get
When you said with your mom, my granddaughter Madison said, Nana, will you please not come up to the school in high school? Will you please? Because I could be in the hall and the teacher would say, I'm getting ready to email Nana.
like it's
I was
just
so
embarrassing.
So embarrassed.
It was a reality. We had a 2-year reality show.
And you could have got paid for that reality show. I just told my daughter, I said, if we really showcased our life, baby, we would be on a lot of Benjamins.
Yes.
So, Samori, what was the most challenging part for you on this journey?
I believe pushing myself out there in high school, because I began high school during COVID, so most of my freshman year was just me in my room, not really talking to people, and I also wasn't really paying attention to my classes because the teachers didn't care. We were online. And yeah, so I'm a pretty quiet and reserved person, so when I did eventually go into high school, physically, it was kind of like, it was an uncomfortable setting because of all the people, and yeah. But
I remember Micah saying that too about COVID, but go ahead, finish your thought.
But I was just gonna say, I remember in my I believe it was my sophomore year, I was failing my geometry class, and it was because I couldn't understand the way the teacher was explaining it, and the only reason I passed was because I mustered up like the courage, I suppose, to go up to her and ask her to like teach it to me one-on-one. So yeah.
That's good. You muscled up the courage to go up and ask for help. That is so commendable, because a lot of times people will suffer in silence. So you have to go, and particularly now that you're getting ready to move on to college, you have to speak up and go and make sure they know that you need something from them and get the help that you need. Do not be afraid to advocate for yourself. And you remember that I am advocating for myself. So never forget that. We have our special guest that just joined us. I think she must have made it back home. Dr. Yolanda Clark. Good evening. You made it
Hi, can
home.
you guys see me? Hi, I haven't quite made it back yet. I'm in the parking lot, but I figured I'd pull over at least to get on because it's going to take me a while in this traffic to get on. But I didn't want to miss it.
Yes, so thank you so much and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Hi,
Yes.
everyone.
Hello.
So we've had them to share something that people would be surprised to know about them. So if you want to share one thing that people would be surprised to know about you.
So I was or am the first Black female to graduate from the Philadelphia Police K-9 Academy.
Wow.
Philadelphia Police K-9 Academy, the first Black female to graduate from there, and actually the first and only female canine officer for the Philadelphia Sheriff's Department.
Wow.
All 5'2", 150 pounds.
That's
The dogs were larger than me, absolutely. But yeah, I'm a first.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, that's a fun fact.
She just completed her doctoral degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finished my doctoral. It's in prevention science. So usually people ask, what does prevention science mean? So I kind of explain it where my undergrad, being former law enforcement, my undergrad, of course, was criminal justice. My master's was criminal psychology. And now my doctorate is in prevention science. So what that does, it basically completes the triangle. I know what criminals do. I know why they do it. Now, how do we prevent the whole criminal aspect, the criminal tract. How do we get them off the criminal tract? So my doctorate is in prevention science. So it's more of a trauma informed. But I hope my phone is not more of a trauma informed. Yeah, my battery's going kind of. Gotta mess if I can plug in real fast. If I lose you guys, I'm gonna plug in real fast and come back. I've been on these planes all day long, but that's pretty much what it is from a trauma informed standpoint. Trying to figure out how to stop the criminal tract. So it's pretty interesting.
I bet that is mentally.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mentally.
So.
Okay. In addition, we also have Command Sergeant Major Miranda McCorvey, who's joined us as my special guest to kind of congratulate you all too. So we're going to have her to join in. She's retired U.S. Army as well. Santasha, your comrade right there. So Army in the house. So with that being said, so what was the most rewarding part, graduates, on the journey? We talked about the challenging part. What about the most rewarding part?
I'd say getting to continue going forward in life, just graduating in general.
Accomplishing this goal, this phase successfully. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Awesome. Taylor?
I think the feeling more than anything, like when I was on the stage and I just knew like days that I thought were gonna like be the end of me in high school, like the little things that I thought were gonna matter so much, and then like to be walking the stage and then all that didn't matter anymore. And then I was simply just getting the diploma and getting recognized for everything that I've done. It was really like, it was very bittersweet.
Oh, I bet that was. Oh, I love that. And Julian, what was most rewarding for you?
Being able to move on, like I understood what we were learning, like being able to move on, had AB honor roll.
Okay. The entire year?
Yes.
Awesome. Andrew?
Well, I mean, I tell you what, it's great when you hear other people's perspectives and vantage points, and everybody's experience is unique. I mean, there's some areas of overlap, like a number of the guests shared in regards to the academic piece, the work expectations, but there's also some things that you acknowledge and celebrate, you know, like the gentleman said, starting during COVID when you're kind of working in isolation, and now, you know, and trying to figure that out, and then navigating how do you work your way back into being amongst people when you're so used to having to work independently, you know, just some of those things. But I think in all of the, you know, the hurdles that everyone shared, the bigger thing is the accomplishment and the sense of knowing you have the capacity and ability to do. I think that's probably a huge takeaway, you know, in addition to the social aspect, the academic aspect, the community aspect, but that individual accomplishment of knowing you've got the ability and capacity if you so choose to use it. Mm-hmm. So when you're consistent in choosing to use it, you're going to put yourself in a position where you can be successful. And everybody here is articulating their success in the classroom, but then their success outside the classroom and some bigger picture things that you hope people are able to capture.
Absolutely. You know, I just think about how talented each of them are. I've kind of watched Taylor on her journey with gymnastics and cheer, and how amazing that journey has been. I don't think that you're going to cheer there, is what you said, right? But that skill and trade, I'm sure, will help you stay fit, because I'm sure, you know, fitness is like important to you, and to stay trim and not to get in college and, you know, gain a lot of weight, eating bad. And I'm sure you're going to eat what you want, but I'm just saying, I know you're going to prioritize that balance there because you've been fit all your life. And then Julian, you talked about, the wrestling and, you know, that was exciting for you too. To
Yes.
place number 3 in the county.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. I'm sure, Mom, you were excited for him, huh?
Yes, yes. He's never wrestled before, so that was for me a shock, a surprise, and a huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. And so, Maury, the art, I don't think people really know how artistic you are. Like they haven't seen you with your art. And I think the world needs to see that talent more.
Thank you.
So I want to challenge you to showcase that part of who you are. But we're going to pause for a minute and let Command Sergeant Major McCorvey introduce herself.
Greetings. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. First of all, I just want to just extend an invitation to Shenita for inviting me into this group. Let me apologize for my tardiness, but I had another meeting because I'm a member of my HOA board and I'm a board member. So I had that meeting, which ran simultaneous to this. But however, I was able to chime in and hear at this time. As Shenita said, that I am Command Sergeant Major retired, Miranda McCord, retired from the United States Army. I am currently residing in Pooler, Georgia, which is the suburbs of Savannah, Georgia. Okay. Pretty much, and I put in the chat, but also too, so let me extend a big congratulations to all the graduates. Very proud. Hey, I remember those days way back when. Okay, but it's great to see that young adults and where they stand at now and how they're moving on. So congratulations to all.
Yes. And I actually asked each of them to share their Cash App so that if anyone in the audience would like to bless them with a token for their graduation and just matriculate into the next level, they could. So I'm going to, periodically put it up for them so that you all can see, take a picture. And if you would like to bless the young people to encourage them to keep going, I encourage all of us to do that. So Andrew.
Yes. And then again, with the whole emphasis of tonight, it's an opportunity to really pause, reflect, celebrate, and really, use what you're sharing today as a springboard for what's next. I mean, like the saying goes, you want to stop and smell the roses. You do want to pause and take note of what you've been able to accomplish, what you've had to work through in order to get there. And so you definitely want to take those moments to pause. And then when, like the dust settles and the smoke clears, it's like, what's next? In principle, you've already started developing those skill sets for success. Now, the only thing you're really looking at is what are some additional tools, whether in the classroom, in the community, your personal, growth and development. What are other things I can add to my toolbox that are going to help me build on the success that I've already, achieved? So it's the whole pause and keep going. So tonight, is definitely that time for you to pause. And then when it's time for you to keep going, in principle, what things do I need to seek out? What are things that are going to better equip and help me get to what's next? So, it's definitely an exciting time. So it's great to kind of just sit back and listen and take all this in.
Yes. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off that because, we talked about Mental Health Awareness Month is this month. And so as we're matriculating from middle school to high school, from high school to college, going into new zones, new areas, we have to really think about our mental health. And I want to just kind of point that out, not just for the students, but for the adults as well, those who are listening. Mental Health Month awareness helps us recognize the ways that mental illness impacts our lives, and it educates people about available services and highlight ways to advocate, even if you don't have a mental illness. Recognition and education are important ways to remove the stigma associated with mental health. And so I wanted to bring that up because as we're moving on outside of our parents' homes, going to college, it's going to be different, new. We got to be in touch with who we are. We got to make sure that we're sound. And if we feel like we're off somewhere, say something, advocate for yourself, which is most important. A lot of times we might ignore what may be obvious, but we have to be very in tune with that and get help when we feel that we do. And that includes adults, not just young people, because I stay in touch with a counselor to just make sure that I'm in a good space for myself. And when I feel down, I talk about it. I'm not ashamed of it because that's a part of the journey of life. So I want to highlight that and make sure that we recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And we are not ashamed to talk about mental health. It's important. So with that being said, what are your future goals, our young people? Tell us, once we get through college, what do we anticipate doing? Let's start with you, Samori.
Well, for my short-term goals, getting through basic training with the National Guard. I know I'm not the most active person ever, so this is gonna be like a new thing for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just hoping for it to toughen me up a little going in. And then for long term, becoming a medical examiner, because that's the job I want to go into, completing my college education and getting my chemistry degree.
Awesome. I love that. So what inspired you to go into this profession? Tell me that.
Well, I've always been really interested in like crime specifically, and I've always thought about going into a career that revolved around crime, but I didn't want to be like face on with it like a police officer. So I thought that medical examiner would be something nice, since that's kind of behind the scenes and I'm still hands on, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. What's your favorite crime series or show?
I don't watch any crime series or shows. I mainly watch podcasts on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Okay. And they podcast about crime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right, Taylor. After college or while you're in college, matriculating out of college, what are your ultimate goals?
My goals while in college are to do ROTC so that I can go to the Air Force as an officer. And then I want to major in social work so that I can do social work in the Air Force and then hopefully get out and have them pay for my master's so I can keep going.
I love it. And so tell me, what inspired you to choose social work?
Well, the first time I heard of it, it was Kiara. She was a social worker and she was talking about it. And then I looked at my other cousin Lindsay, and that's what she was doing. And then I kind of did my own research into it. And I like helping people. So then I realized that it's not just one type of social work. It's like you can do different types. So I want to do clinical social work. I want to kind of work in hospitals and kind of do that type of stuff.
Okay, I like that. And Mom, were you excited to hear what her goals were? Or did you know that that was like an area that she would go into?
I'll be honest, my whole goal was for Taylor to be in the military. I'm a retired major. My husband's a retired command sergeant major. I think I pride myself on kind of spotting leaders. I have 2 kids. My son definitely is not. I mean, he's great at what he does. He's an accountant. He's doing fantastic. Mm-hmm. But he's not the person that's going to just kind of jump out. Taylor has always been a leader. Like from like birth, you can see it. And some people, you just see it.
Right.
And she came to us in high school and said she wanted to do ROTC. And when she got in it, she has flourished. I get the ROTC instructors are always talking about what I saw. So I was happy. As far as what she chooses to do when she gets in, that part I leave to Taylor. I'm glad to hear that she knows what she likes, but it's not surprising to me to hear her say that because she has her own mind. That's where we bump heads because she has her own mind, and I had to like learn to respect that she has her own mind. Whereas with my son, he was more like, just tell me what to do and I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
I love it.
It was that was hard for me because I'm used to like guiding, but with her, it's not really that. It's not that difficult.
Right. No, Mom, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the fact that she's going to the same college as her brother.
Yes.
I love that. So you must like that feel when you went to visit with him and all of that. You had to like that feel.
I did. I didn't want to admit it, but I mean the town is pretty nice and it's a pretty nice school. So yeah.
So tell us a little bit about so everybody knows where you're going, what city, and tell them again the college.
I'm going to Mississippi State. It's in Starkville, Mississippi. It's real nice. I wanted to go to Southern University at first, but she said that she wasn't paying for me to go to Southern.
Well, so I went to Hampton. So if I'm going to pay for you to go to a HBCU, I'm going to pay for you to go where I went. I mean, that just makes sense.
Right.
So
I love that.
Some things.
So you said, okay, well, I guess I'll be down here in Mississippi.
That's hard.
So we have another one of my great sister queen friends who is also a Army retired soldier. So I have 3 female Army retired soldiers. So Stephanie, introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Was getting off late for work and had an extra meeting. So hi everybody, I'm Stephanie, retired Army, 30 years. Glad to be here. Sorry I'm just piping in, but I'm glad to be here.
And Miranda, she just kind of skated over her rank, didn't she? Now she loves to skate over her rank.
Yes, I was there. I was waiting for her. Yes. Say it.
Because they all are looking at us. So you want to share your rank?
Retired CW3, Chief Warrant Officer.
So we have a major, retired major, a retired command sergeant major, and a retired CW3. So that's to be commended, ladies. So kudos to each of you all on that as well. Andrew, want to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, 2 quick things. Number one, of course, part of the focus on today is to celebrate accomplishments. And for everybody, from the students, from the parents, the professionals that are on here, it is, like I said, it is time to pause and celebrate and look at what you've been led to do, what you've been able to do. And backtracking a little bit with the reminder for it being, mental health awareness, like you alluded to, it's not just whether or not you're having an illness, and especially not just for students to seek out and take advantage of those counseling and support opportunities. They're there for a reason. For those of you who are going to college, your student activity fees and what have you, that's part of what you paid for. So utilize those services, whether you're feeling like higher stress or something along those lines. There's no shame in taking time to kind of pause and reboot and get a reset. So definitely utilize those. And then for those of us who are adults, I encourage, even if it's just once a year, to speak with a mental health professional just to get a different perspective. Just that, I talked earlier about adding tools to your toolbox. That's not just for young adults, that's for adults in general. And it's not, any inadequacy or anything along those lines, Every once in a while, we see that we need to add some things, or we might have to take away some things in order to be in a better space. So, for everybody, don't, as you've heard this theme, a couple of times tonight, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, and utilize the resources that you have access to. Some of them you've already paid for. So if you've already paid for it, go ahead and use it. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely. Check in mentally to make sure you're good. So any advice that parents you'd like to share with all of the teams individually? Monique, any advice you'd like to share with them from your journey?
I'd say stay focused. Definitely always first. Put God first. Make sure that you are keeping that in the forefront of your mind, because there is a lot of things that you'll go through from high school to college, experiences that you'll have, and have someone that you can communicate with, someone that you can always talk freely with, be open and honest with, so that you're not bottling that up inside, whether it's someone professional, whether it's your parent that you're close to, someone that can give you some good sound advice and make sure that it's coming from a good place.
Absolutely. Thank you. Santasha?
I'll have to agree with what this mother just said. I mean, I think I kind of have a little bit of an advantage over some of us on the panel because I teach high school. And so I'm in that 9 through 12. And in fact, I'm going back to school over the summer because I'm getting ready to get another degree in mental health. Because I kind of want to switch. I want to leave the classroom because there's a huge issue, more than what parents I think even realize. The anxiety that our students are going through in high school, the peer pressure, even the best schools, the bullying. Cyberbullying is a huge issue. A lot of pressure with what the kids wear. And it's not just at our high school. I mean, I'm in Clayton County. It's not just at Clayton County. You can pretty much tap into any school in our nation and you're going to see some worse than others. You've had kids even take their own lives because of the anxiety and the pressure and the stress. And so I would just kind of, especially to the young man that's about to enter 9th grade, that's honestly probably the worst year and I don't want to scare you, but it is because it's a huge transition from you being in middle school and you have teachers walking with you down the hallway. It's a lot more structured in middle school. When you get to high school, we're opening our door and say, have a good day, go to your next class. So you've got to navigate these hallways by yourself, deal with all of the 12th graders that are there. So you're dealing with, practically you're walking in the hallway with adults. Mm-hmm. And even if there's a wing for 9th grade, your electives are not going to be on that wing because you're going to be mixed with other kids. You're going to see them at lunch. You're going to see them, so it can be very nerve-wracking. And a lot of kids, especially 9th grade, they get very depressed. I know this won't be you, but I'll just say it. We see a large number of kids who skip classes because they don't want to go to that class because that person that they don't like or they're afraid of is in that class. So find, we at Lovejoy, we try to find the adult that you feel comfortable with. I have some kids that'll come and you can decide who the adult is either formally or informally, but find that caring adult in the building. And even when you're on the college campus, find that caring adult on that college campus that you can talk to, that can really be an advocate for you. My personality in high school is a little bit more aggressive because I have to be, because I'm dealing with, I call them different spirits. Like everybody's coming from different, we have kids that are homeless, that are in the high school, who don't have parents, so they're coming with a lot of anger. And I don't blame a child. And I try to tell her that, like, hey, you need to understand everybody's not living the way you live. Everybody doesn't have 2 parents in the household. Everyone doesn't have what you have. And even if you think it's the least, they would love it. They would love to have your parent at that school making them accountable. They would love to have a parent forcing you to take honors classes, because that means you have someone who cares.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these kids don't have that. And it's more kids that don't have it than do. So when you find that anxiety, because it's whether we like it or not, and sometimes we try to forget that we were once there, but we all were ninth graders. We all were in college at some point. We all remember. And for ninth grade, it's almost like your frontal lobe is kind of going backwards a little bit. So your risk taking kind of goes up, and your decision making is a little bit risky in some of the things that you choose, even the people you decide to hang with. So just find that caring adult. Even if, sometimes with my daughter, I knew she wasn't always going to talk to me and I was in the building, but I knew she had the ROTC people that she could talk to. And I'm fine with that. And I would say, even as parents, sometimes we don't want to know. Like, if it's nothing bad, I just needed her to have somebody that she could talk to, that she felt comfortable with, and be able to get it out. So find that person would be my advice. That's my advice as a mom, and especially as a teacher. I've been teaching now for 8 years, and every year it gets worse. Mm-hmm. Every year, K through 12, we see it. It's getting where we're having less teachers. We're having more long-term subs. I mean, I think we all kind of see it. People don't want to really teach anymore because of a lot of the stuff that happens in the school. So you're gonna face it comes with it. It's not the same high school many of us had when we were in school. And I wish it was, but it's unfortunately the days are not there. So just find that caring adult. That would be my advice.
Yeah, absolutely different today. Absolutely different today. I've seen so many videos of teachers fighting students than I ever imagined in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
So that means your tolerance for them is very low. We know, as you mentioned, people are coming from all types of backgrounds and all kinds of challenging lives, and it's so unfortunate, the state of being that we're in. So thank you for that. And it leads right back into that mental health piece, that we have to take this piece of our health as an important part. Your mind, you have to think about, that piece, making sure you go to the doctor for your mind, just like you go for your physical body. That's important. So with that being said, I want to give us, as we're closing out, I want to give us an opportunity to share like 30 seconds of anything that you'd like to share, particularly our students, and then we'll finish up with you, Andrew, and we'll go to the my special guest, Stephanie, and Command Sergeant Major McCorvey. So I would like for you, the students, to share closing remarks. Anything you'd like to share.
Well, I just want to say that I'm thankful to my parents and my family in general for helping me get this far. They're definitely the biggest part of why I'm where I am today. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that, because you would not be where you are and who you are without that support. So yes, thank you for acknowledging your family and your parents. Taylor?
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback off what she said. I want to thank my parents, because without them, I definitely wouldn't have made it through these 4 years. And to the one that's about to enter high school, you're about to have a time, like you're gonna have a great time. Just make sure that you go in there, join clubs, so that when you graduate, you get a whole bunch of cords. do fun things. Make memories, go to football games, have fun at the track meets, because I used to run track. Track is fun. High school track meets are even more fun. Just like do things to make these 4 years they're going to be great. So just make memories.
Can I just say this? Taylor was voted by her class. The superlative she got in the yearbook and at prom was life of the party.
I love it. Life of the party. You're my kind of
She's gonna have fun regardless. She's going to find where the fun is. Everybody else can be finding doom and gloom. she's going to find a good time.
There's
I
always
So
love it.
that's why,
There's
and I guess
always-
that's what helped her. So that's why she keeps saying that.
Right. I love that.
I love it too.
You could waddle in the negative, but what about the positive? Yeah. When is your birthday, Taylor?
June 26th. I'm a Cancer.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Uh-oh, you got another cancer on
Life of the party. I love that. All right, Julian.
Just like what they said, I'm thankful for my parents for the support, like pushing me, taking me places, being there for me.
I love that.
All
You know,
my
because
family.
yeah, people don't realize how important it is to be thankful for supportive parents and family members. That is so important. So I appreciate all three of you all for just sharing your hearts as it relates to your family and thanking them publicly. I said this video will be out there on YouTube land forever. You'll be able to watch it next year, the year after, and say, wow, did I say that? You know? And so, yeah, I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for all three of you all and everyone else out there that's watching as they matriculate through life. I'm excited. Andrew, before we get to you, we're going to have Command Sergeant Major McCorvey share some closing remarks and CW3 Normant.
Once again, I just want to extend a big congratulations to all the graduates and those who are transitioning on to the next level. Whether you're transitioning from junior high to high school, then from high school to college, and eventually on to big adult life. Okay. And also to shout out to the young lady that will be soon going off to basic training. Okay. Uh, Congratulations, you will be successful. Just know that it's just all a mind thing, and you you will get through it. Definitely, you will get through it. And you come back, and then you'll be able to start the university, and move on with your academics. And to the next young lady that's going to state, Mississippi State, congratulations to you. Then also enrolled into the ROTC program there, which is so wonderful. I know your mom had a big influence in that, which is great because she could tell, I was on the NCO side of the house. I do not regret it because I reached the pinnacle of my career. But going in as an officer is great. And allowing the military or the state or the school or whoever to pay for your education, that is a tremendous blessing. Kudos to all of you all. As you transition, just know that it's a journey in each process, in each step. It's a journey. But take the journey on, wrap your arms around it, and accept it. Whenever you get into those challenging moments, reach out. Do not hold it in. Do not hold it in. Yes, May is mental health awareness month, but as far as I'm concerned, every day is mental health awareness. Whether you a child or whether you're adult like myself, mental health is real, and get the help. The help is out there, and it doesn't matter who you are. Again, whether you're a young adult or whether you're a senior adult, get the help, because mental health is real. Okay. So embrace it. Embrace each challenge along the way, because just know that every challenge brings growth. And I will leave it at that.
Awesome. And before we get to Stephanie, Julian, did you share with us what your plans are beyond high school? Like, what is your ultimate goal?
I hope I can get a scholarship for college, and I want to pursue either engineering or a law degree, and then from there I want to enlist in the military.
Okay, all right. Awesome. I love it. Not command, CW3 Norman.
Okay, well, again, I apologize for being late. Congratulations to all of you on your achievements thus far. One thing that I would like to say is find a mentor. Like, that can be key, I think one of the moms shared, like, find an adult that you can confide in, that you know that will be there for you, you can talk to about anything. Mentorship is so, so, so critical. I don't care which level you're at, whether you're in middle school, whether you're in high school, whether you're an adult, in the army, in college. Mentorship matters. And if you are an adult out there and you haven't thought about mentorship, I encourage you to think about mentorship, because we have a duty and responsibility that we owe to the next generation. And if we don't start planting seeds and speaking into their lives and being a part of their lives, helping to guide them, because one thing about where you end up, who you hang around usually is an indicator of where you'll end up. So as a mentor, you're there to help guide, to help steer, to help speak into, to help be a resource, and the things that whatever that person is needing. Mental health definitely is on the rise, like taking care of your mental health, but having a person to help you to recognize when the red flags, because sometimes the red flags are there and we're not paying attention. Suicide is big, and most of the time suicide happens because the red flags are glaring and we miss them. But having somebody that is watching after you, that is looking after you, that is paying attention to you, that could be the difference in a life saved and a life lost. And so I encourage you all that wherever you are on this journey, find that person or those persons that is going to be there to support, to help lift you up, to help encourage you, and to help get you to where it is that you need to be. Because sometimes that person that's telling you what you want to hear is not the person that you need, that you need to be with you. That person that's telling you what you need to hear is the person that is probably more critical than that person who's telling you what you want to hear. So find that person that you know that they got your back, that they got your best interest at heart. I encourage you all to keep moving forward on your journey. If you find a roadblock, figure out how to get around it. I always say, hey, roadblocks are going to be there, but find a way to either go up, go down, go round, go through, but make a way to keep moving forward.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great advice.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Not just for them, but for us. So thank you all again so much. And I hope that your cash apps will ring and ding. And I hope more importantly than that, that you will continue to move higher and make yourself proud. Ultimately, your family and your parents will be proud. So with that being said, Andrew, you'd like to close us out?
Sure. In bringing everything together, just a couple of real simple reminders. Number one, your faith. Your faith will get you spaces and places and allow you to get the perspective you need. Number two, remember the skill sets you've already tapped into that are allowing you to be successful. Don't be afraid of hard work, but don't be afraid of working smart either. Don't be afraid to ask for help. All of us on here did not get here by ourselves. We didn't just magically learn what we're doing professionally, community-wise, or otherwise. All of us here got help. So knowing that, don't be afraid to ask for help. Tap into your resources. As you've heard, we've made the emphasis for mental health. Don't be afraid to tap in or seek out those resources that are going to help you get perspective, help you grow. In addition to mentorship, and all of us on here can say relationships matter. As what was shared before, don't just go to school and go to class. Tap into those clubs and activities that speak to your interests. If you like the sciences, if you like, physical fitness, things along those lines, build your network. It's not only just your mentorship, but when you identify what you want to do career-wise, having that relationship base helps with people advocating for you. And all of us in here can attest to the concept of people speaking your name in rooms that you're not even in. And of course, don't let success get to your head, but don't let failure get to your heart. Things are going to happen, and it's an opportunity for you to pause, learn, make adjustments, and just keep building. And that's not only just for the young adults, but it's for the adults in here as well. But hopefully what you've heard tonight are some things that you feel you can take with you, that you're able to utilize in and outside the classroom and just in life in general. And, know that there are people that are praying for you and rooting for you. You'll be surprised just in the way you go about your business, the number of people who pay attention and the number of people who might be looking at you as an example of how to get through. So definitely embrace, the things that you've, picked up on tonight, build on the life lessons that you've already learned, be excited about where you can go next.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I would like to just add to journal. Journal, write down some things about your journey, because you are living your book, your memoir. So you start journaling some things and keeping that. And maybe one day you decide you may want to publish a book about yourself or lessons you've learned. So I want to encourage us to write our thoughts. And with that being said, before we close, we mentioned Military Appreciation Month, and I just want to say we thank you to every dedicated person who is currently serving in, a veteran of the United States military. We thank you for all that you have done and will continue to do to protect us. So salute you all. And to our guests that are watching, we thank you for tuning in. We hope that something was shared that will bless you or someone that you're connected to. Our special guests, our graduates and parents and show guests, we thank you all for joining us this evening, and we hope that you will continue to support the Life with Shenita broadcast and every young person that you are connected to. So thank you all. Blessings to each and every one of you. And my guest, if you all would just hold tight for just a moment, we'll close out. Thank you. Good night.